basically like-minded spirits, fashion, things of that nature. They were investing in them, and I wanted to do the same. You know, I was a spirit whisperer for a long time, and then
New phrase.
it made sense to go into ownership.
When you're looking at the spirits industry, are you having a checkboard as to like, I need to get a tequila, I need a vodka, I need a cognac, I have a liqueur.
Absolutely.
Is that how you're approaching this?
Absolutely. In my latest investment, great segue, you're a professional. This Bayab Gin and this Vusa Vodka are African-made spirits. And there has never been a Black-owned spirit to come out of Africa. It almost sounds outrageous when you say that, right? So you look at Amarula, you look at all the things that are on the shelf that are African, they're not owned by a Black person. So one of the things that attracted me with this brand, you can see it. I mean, just look at the details. I mean, it's African owned. All the botanicals come from all over Africa. So it's not a region in particular that we're stuck to, but the packaging is amazing. And then the juice competes with any juice in the categories, specific categories. You know, Rashad didn't want to hold this too long because, you know, he's a personality now, so he gets paid for what he endorses.
Sugar cane is inside of it.
Yeah, no, it's a sugarcane rum. And so for me, like to your question, I'm looking for partners that are really about that, you know, that growth of, you know, said brands, right? And with the Spearhead Group, because that's the company I invested in that owns Vusa Vodka and Bayab Gin, their blueprint is all botanicals from the continent, the diaspora, which is everywhere in the world. And this next play, and I'm gonna give you an exclusive, this next play, you know, the only reason tequila is called tequila is because of the region of Mexico, right? Africa, which I did not know, is the second largest grower of agave in the world. So that will be our next expression. It'll be called African agave. It's gonna change the game.
So when you're investing in these companies, you have mentioned like you're doing this through a group, or this is like just your own personal, somebody's coming up to you and you just like it and you just like.
No, this came from our incubator program too. And Fawn had already identified a gin, if I'm not mistaken.
So
all the fallout comes to me.
So Fawn, say her name correctly, Fawn Weaver, right?
Fawn Weaver.
Yeah.
My spirit animal.
So she is the person that started Uncle Nearest?
She is the founder.
She's the founder of Uncle Nearest.
Creator of Uncle Nearest Whiskey.
So then she brought you in as a part owner in Uncle Nearest.
Yes.
You develop a relationship with her.
Yes.
She's involved in all these other liquors as well?
She's only involved in this one. This Spearhead Spirits, which is Vusa Vodka and Bayab Gin, I ventured out on my own.
Just by yourself?
Yes. Well, not by myself. I went to Pendulum, a Black-owned fund out of LA. Big shout out to Robbie and Dorita Robinson. They gave, you know, a bunch of money to help.
So how did that work? You can you just explain how you got involved?
Well, I mean, you know, in life, guys, you have an opportunity to bring people to the table or do it yourself. I've been a master of, you know, putting up my money in some instances and then raising money in the other, getting the same percentages and amounts. So you just gotta figure out how you want to play. Sometimes you're liquid and you let go of $1 million. Sometimes you can raise $3.5 million for 10% ownership or stake in, you know, in a business. So you just got to be intent.
The LS Cream is interesting because I want to really hammer this home in case people didn't know this. So we interviewed them.
Yeah.
A couple out of Montreal.
Yeah.
And that was during COVID. So we did it on Zoom.
Miriam and Stevens.
Yep. And so that was before your involvement.
Yeah.
So they approached you guys or you approached them?
Again, it came from Fawn. She introduced us.
I'm saying, how did she get involved in it? Do you know?
It came to us as a possible incubator opportunity, which I mentioned, and we loved it so much it couldn't go through the incubator at that time. So we just went ahead and rocked out and invested our own personal money.
Can we go back to the agave conversation?
Absolutely.
So
that was so big. I don't even know how y'all let that.
I'm not letting it go.
Over your head.
No, I'm not gonna let it go.
African agave.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let it go because
black tequila. The fuck?
We're not gonna let it go.
Yeah.
So agave, it grows through other parts of the world.
Absolutely.
America and the Caribbean.
It grows in a bunch of places, I'm sure, but the amount that grows is the significance.
The amount that grows. So Africa, is there a specific region, or are we talking about all throughout the continent where it's growing, but is it being exported, imported? Sometimes like we have natural resources, but we don't have the infrastructure to export it.
Yes.
Or refine it.
or refine it. So
And
like,
Africa is
where we
very
at?
low. Yeah, Africa is very low in resources because we actually have power outages. You know what I'm saying, with distilleries and things that we use to.
What part of the continent are we in?
We're in like South Africa.
Okay.
But West Africa, I mean, it's regions and pockets.
Right.
I don't know the actual region that has the most, but the continent as itself, in itself, is like Mexico in the right that they have the biggest crops in the world. Obviously, Mexico being the number one.
Yeah.
My graduates from my school being Forbes, bag drop.
Bag drop.
A mic drop, bag drop.
Bag drop.